morning. This is Volothan Modulus Tautology. Today is April 26th, 7 in the morning. Figured I'd do a morning show today, you know? Um, but, yeah, I got a little, I'm gonna be real quick. Let me be real quick with it. I'm gonna drop a little video. Today I'm gonna share a little dentist with y'all. But before that, let me say this, all right? Let me start from the beginning again. All right. Back in the thing's messing up on me. Let me. All right, we'll figure that out. Back in 2020, right? I was the manager of a pharmacy retail, and this was during the pandemic. And at the beginning of of that year, they made me put up a sign on the front door saying diversity, equity, and inclusion. This was the new roll-in package of what the company was about to implement. And they made me go through training on it. And during the training, I had to take a waste, fraud, and abuse CBT. It's not hard. This is not a hard story to understand. And yes, I am a foundational Black American. That's what we're calling ourselves these days, right? So we'll get more into what foundational Black American means, but I put a sign on my door. My staff was completely diverse. I had, a Muslim, an Italian, several Asians from different countries all over, the continents, from the Philippines to uh, Japan, half Chinese to Korean. I had also couple Italians, like I say. I don't know what Nick was. Um, White American, with special needs. So, um, and then I had a young black girl, graduating from high school. Now, long story short, because I gotta, analyze this story to help y'all to understand what I'm going through. But I'm walking the path, and there's a lot of homeless people around me. And as I hear their stories, very similar to what happened or what is happening in this country. So at the end of the year, um, I had a medical procedure, and even though I had a medical procedure, I was out for 2 weeks. I accumulated 5 weeks of vacation. I never used it because I'm like that dedicated and hard of a worker. And the regional manager, which was basically the district manager, came in to fire me because or write me up for not taking out the trash. um, like I wasn't even there, and I take out the trash. So I guess it was his way of telling me to write my immigrant, older immigrant assistant manager for not taking out the trash, and it probably was him trying to tell him to take out the trash, but tell him to make this other kid take out the trash that just mysteriously quit because you know I guess they would challenge him when I wasn't there, and that's what people do. We challenge each other, and I guess the older women were challenging the younger young man, and I'm trying to inspire him to be great things and inspire. Like I'm not an influencer. I'm a motivator. So when I was there and working with the staff, everything was fine. It's when you leave someone else in charge and they're not good at leadership because you're dealing with explaining favoritism. So that's what we're going through right now as foundational Black Americans. We're asking for help to fix our community, and here is this big great entity that they like to call racism in a form called white supremacy. I put the white supremacy in quotes. Um, Saying that you gotta do it yourself, but at the same time, we're going to, what's quote unquote, desegregate you from being able to do it yourself. And that's been the argument, debate for the past 60, 70 years, because it's been under the Democratic Party, because that's the party that we say that we are voting for. That's why when I first registered to vote, no, I didn't register Republican or Democrat. It is my right to, I'm a citizen, so I registered to vote as independent. And I'm changing. I'm still going to be registered as independent, but unlike Bernie Sanders, who's is just a filler, like it's not really a political mindset or a political direction that, or even ideology or methodology in doing things. Bernie Sanders is a blanket independent. No, I'm a foundational Black American, and I seek freedom, justice, and equality for everybody. But yeah, I'm B1. I'm for my people first. I want my people to win. Winners coming first. Winners were, like, and the fact that we were first in line is why it gets kind of hypocritical, because when you have entities like Barack Obama, and it's like, yo, we were in line first, and you go, okay, but you got to include these people too, and it's like, all right, but then you allowed them to butt in line. My grievances go back way back further than theirs do, and that's what I'm experiencing right now, because like I said, I I put the DEI sign up. I bust my butt every day in the job. I traveled to work during the whole pandemic, the 2020, right? I would be there at 2 in the morning and be at my son's soccer, baseball game in the afternoon, right? Because I'm trying to, build my family and enjoy my life in this country. It's a beautiful country, but we're dealing with people that are so-called the leaders or in charge. When you put someone that has mental health issues in charge, and or a position of leadership, and like I said, they have mental health issues, and it's going to, like, they need guidance. It's a PG movie. G is general audience. PG means parental guidance, and y'all gave people positions of quote unquote leadership. I can't even say power. It's a position of leadership, and they're not ready for leadership. And next thing you know, everybody suffers from it. And that's what's happened. That's what happened under the Democratic Party, because Biden clearly didn't have all his mental capabilities during the whole 4 years. He was drooling on himself, and y'all put him in charge, and then wanted to replace him with a woman that had no American identity other than, I'm going to copy someone else's work. Right? Like, and she jumped ahead of the line. She slept her way to the top. All the things that we're attacking men for doing, still, like, she did it on the feminine side, and it's like, well, we kind of calling BS on that, and then it's any man that that's when Barack came out his mouth saying that men are toxic or whatever, black men, like, because y'all just don't want to support it. And it's like, yo, dude, like, haven't you been listening to us your whole presidency? Like, that's what we were saying your whole presidency, right? During his presidency, I would go. The black woman was the manager. I would interview one of her girlfriends. They would show me a video of them, like, and harassing me. And I'm like, yo, you can't bring her in. She was harassing me. And the girl would be there the next day. And I can't, share all this information with my wife at home. I'm faithful. I'm trustworthy, right? But it is you're attacking someone else's husband. So now she wants to go up there and whip all the girls' ass and take it back to the streets where she's from. Right? That's why I'm not mad at her, but it is you know sit down for a second, right? But it's easier to make a female pit bull hill than a lot of these black women. That's what Malcolm X meant by the roosters coming home to I mean, the chickens coming home to roost. Y'all just clucking and clucking, 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 and it's like y'all not the leaders. Like y'all, and then you find yourselves ignoring the black men. So, like I said, the story again. I put up this sign that said diversity, equity, inclusion. In December, he came. He was setting up to fire me because it was already decided that Biden was going to be the president. They already knew the move because these are things that Obama put into place. So in January, just before he took office or whatever, he came in. They the black girl that I put into the pharmacy area to learn, like, she's going to college. I'm trying to help her become a medical assistant and reach all of her goals and expectations, right? And just like another one that I haven't seen Galinsky in a minute, and I miss her. I witnessed an Italian girl do that. She started in the pharmacy as a tech. Now she became a pharmacist in the company. And did I go to her wedding? I didn't go to her wedding. I was invited to her wedding. I believe so, because she was one of the sweetest, coolest people. But it's no, right? You can't put her there, and instead they put the guy that has mental health issues back there. Instead of me remaining the manager, they purposely came in, said I was committing fraud. I was not committing fraud. And, just as a blanket statement here, you're committing fraud. Um, I'm explaining to the region. I'm explaining it to human resources how I'm not committing fraud, but I'm trying to, you know, explain it as best as I can because I know what fraud is, and there's it's my hours were good. My store hours were pitch perfect. I was saving hours. That's why I was confused. But it was, well, in one computer database and in this computer database, where I'm using two different operating systems and this right here. So since this number here under this database isn't matching with that one because of we're using three different operating systems, and it's like I can, like I'm trying to make a different direction in the company anyway because I do have some computer science and programming understanding. So I understand exactly what you're saying, but it's a computer error, and we're saying you're committing fraud because of the computer error, and they know that I can explain that. So I filed for so I had to file for unemployment, and I had to file for wrongful termination, and I've been in line ever since. And here today, all these people are still cutting in front of me in the line. And you know what I mean? I still need help, but now the purpose of the Democratic Party is to desegregate the black family. So while under Trump, I experienced two of the greatest family reunions of all time, right? And I was looking forward to going back down south and with my mom's family that was in Carolinas, with my son's mother's family that's in Mobile, Alabama, or even Tallahassee. Like we're from the South. We are the original people of this land. So I'm trying to do these things, but if the purpose is to defund men, period. Now, the moment the white men say you're destroying white men, and it's like, yeah, they are, right? I'm right next to them. Yeah, they destroying the hell out of y'all, and it's well, they're showing favoritism to the black men. It's like, no, we're not, because even though, right, even though proportionally, it's okay. We're going to take one black guy, one white guy, because your population is apparently greater than my population, and I'm being subcategorized as either being Dominican, Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, anything except for an original Carolinian, right? Caroline kid, because of my lineage being foundational Black American, going back before 1492. 1526 we used because that was one of the first slavery votes, and the brown natives helped the brown and black Africans, right, to freedom on our own land. That's the revolt. It's we're going to free you, and you can join our tribe. So now a lot of brown Americans have been recategorized from being the native, the actual native blood, right, to being, because of the one drop rule, to being quote unquote Africans, right? That's why African American is kind of a slight at us, especially when Barack Obama's dad just got off the boat in 1961 or whenever he was conceived, right? And he's only 10 years older than me, if that, So he's my, older quote unquote brother, Hawaiian brother or whatever, right? But at the same time, it's, dude, you're going through the same issues. That party broke up your family. Now your wife is making TikTok videos with her moist brother. We hear nothing about you helping your daughters find good men, right? Like you're supposed to be the leader with your daughters having two good men to build your legacy even further. But instead, I see them in TikTok videos getting smutted around. I mean, I really need y'all to think about this, right? So here I am today, about to share a quick video about and it's still okay. It's showing the Earth now. About to share a quick video, of Dennis Sperling. All right, this is fair use for the 1970, et cetera, et cetera. But in it, Dennis wrote a letter to Donald Trump asking for reparations, and he's a lawyer. He's a black lawyer, and the lawyers are outnumbered. So I've been fighting the system, right? And it's not easy going up against these firms, right? I'm not a lawyer. I'm a mathematician, so I see the problem, and I can make it into a mathematical model, and I can share the solution. But right now, it's motherhood is supposed to be the leader of womanhood and sisterhood. Fatherhood is supposed to be the leader of manhood and brotherhood, right? But we all have one father, and all we're seeing is war going on because the chickens have come home to roost. It's you're ignoring, and the ones that you're ignoring the most is the children, because the children want to. Hey, Dad, you got time? Let's go fly a kite together. Let's go play the basketball together. Let's go do this together, Dad. And yes, I'm dealing with a lot of single baby mamas, and their children. I see them in the streets, and it's hey, Mr. Volo, what's up? You sound like you're doing great. They're gonna try to recruit you to be the next engineer, right? I can help you with the mathematics, the construct of it, because that's what I'm good at, right? And I'll just and of course I can tell when they lying. I can tell when they telling the truth. So it's my son knows, so he tells the truth 99% of the time, right? But if the topic is becoming that next strong black family to lead a nation, he already knows that they're gonna definitely gonna crucify me, right? Right? And then he's not going to be bullied because he's I told you he's 13. He already 6'8". But they're going to tell lies against him because you know he thinks he's better than me, right? Like that's why it's you have two girls, son, one at a time. Don't right, right. And it's funny because today all he can do is look at the TV and go, "You're right, Dad. Look what happened to Shannon." You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to keep it real with y'all. That's all I can do, right? So this is a Dennis Sperling. Um, I'm calling this episode. I ain't mean to do that. Should I be showing all that? I don't know. It don't matter.
Hey man, I do what I do. Fire. I remember in June of 2010, I was in Baghdad, Iraq, and I watched your State of the Union address as a proud young black man to see a black president on the television.
Shout out to Luskan
But I
though.
listened
Thank
to you as you told the American people that we would not spend any additional resources in Baghdad or in Afghanistan, and we're going to bring our troops home in December of 2014. Right
you.
then and there, I knew you couldn't be trusted.
Mm,
Why?
mm,
Because
mm.
I'm watching them build sidewalks, build streets, and construct buildings in Baghdad, Iraq in 2010. As you say, we're going to leave in 2014. So now that you get on a stage or a platform and try to bully us and belittle us and try to make the world believe that we're not intelligent enough to see what you and the demonic Democratic Party is doing, you're the biggest problem to black people, not the Republican Party. Just because our policies differ, or our views differ, or our perspectives and values differ, now you want to attack? No, Barack, you're a liar, and you're part of the problem.
Oversharing is an ADHD response. Over explaining simple things, sharing personal details too quickly, using humour to mask vulnerability.
I gotta connect this a little different sometimes. Um, but it goes on and on about all the different people that he went through, understanding the truth. Like, dude, you were supposed to represent. Y'all were supposed to represent that family, and I mean, that's my new lesson. Is there's only one true family that we need to be giving praises to, whether or not you believe it's in the Messiah. Right? It's none of my business, I guess. But when the political party clearly is putting up alternative relations, or what they did, what Barack did, and I explain it over and over again, is he changed the fundamental definition of gay in order to fit his need, his narrative, and that's what destroyed us, right? So when I see two gay guys down in Atlanta get married, quote unquote, right? Adopt two boys and then get 100 years in jail. Of course, the quick response is, well, that's just one. There exists just one, so it's not that, right? That's a small minority. That's a small percentage. Just like the small percentage of black men that's, out of control. You know what I mean? It's, yes, as a man, it would be cool to have a queen on every continent if I had that kind of cash flow, right? I want a queen on every continent so I can escape the government. Shout out to grave diggers, right? Right. So yeah, if I had it like that, yeah, I would, I would be a passport bro, right? But it was something we were, as with a man and a woman coming together and trying to build something together. It's a partnership with God. And if you break that partnership, it's called adultery. Like that's all throughout, from the Ten Commandments, from actually Genesis, right, to the Ten Commandments, to Jesus or the Messiah. I'm sure it's in the Quran. So, but yes, you have a lot of guys trying to justify having a lot of, and you have a lot of women that trying to justify having multiple men. Right. The issue is that women can only have one child at a time, right? And a child only, we all only have one mother, right? But we do have a nation of good men trying to be the brotherhood, right, of mankind. Thusly, working with the sisters and the womanhood, establishing a fatherhood of God. It's not hard. It's not a complicated mathematical. And I'm gonna write it again, and I'll do it more in Venn diagrams and tools of that nature to mathematically to help you see it visually. I just wanted to share a little Dennis because, and I'll come back and share some more Dennis. But I just wanted to jump on real quick to, I guess, reassert myself. Because I bring peace to you. I don't bring that hate, that, right? Like, my son is like, son, if you want to be a lawyer, we got to start with the laws first, right? So me and my son started over with the Ten Commandments. But instead of having to explain it to him like a 2-year-old, do not kill, do not steal, do not. Nah, son, that's not really the premise behind it. It's one, love God. 2, respect Lord. Just as 2 words, right? 3, what's 3? Seek wisdom. 4 would be Sabbath day. Now that's very important. All right. What day is the Sabbath day? It could be today for if you want, right? All of our understanding of Sunday through Monday, right? Or Monday through Sunday, or Wednesday to Tuesday, right? like Wimpy back in the day on the God pay you Tuesday, because I guess that was his payday, right? We used to get paid on Tuesdays. Now we get paid on Fridays. So your Sabbath day might be your payday, right? Whatever your payday is with the company, and take that payment and go out there and spread the wealth with the needy. That's not what Barack and them is doing, right? His wealth is he's the number one. He is the number one African American lawyer. Barack Obama is. He's the number one African American lawyer. His resume is the presidency of the United States of America. And here is a low budget dentist, and I'm saying that with much respect then. Like I think I got you by a couple years. So I'm not gonna call you uncle, but I will call you, I call you little big brother or something like that, right? But here he go. He writes a letter to the president, letting him know, hey, this is what's going on. I can and I'm doing the same thing, but I'm on the poor righteous teacher's tip side, where I go out here and I see the kids and it's like, all right, cool. I gotta feel this and that, and it's like, well, you need another job. You need to look. I've been doing all those jobs. I've been carrying water, right? I've been shoveling, right? And I'm watching people older than me pass out and die from being overworked. And here's Jasmine Crockett saying that's why we need the immigrants, because, instead of, cut a little supplemental to help with our medical needs, because the corporations, that was part of their whole thing with me. It was to stop my medical insurance was good. It was to stop those medical payments. The company filed for chapter, right? So if the companies are filing for bankruptcy, then all we can do is file for bankruptcy, and then that's when the government is trying to stop you from filing for bankruptcy. So now we got to fight the court systems, and that's what grievances is. It's fighting in the court system. In the court systems, both parties exist. So I'll talk more about flipping a coin next time. Game theory. I'm gonna get back into the game theory aspect of it. But I just had to drop this one. I'm gonna call it swallowing the red. Swallowing the red pill the red pill is a tough thing to swallow, or something like that. I'm gonna call it like that, right? Because they want me to register to vote. And it's like I'm already registered independent, but I'm right down foundational Black American. I can't register Democrat, and there's no need for me to register as a Republican, because if everybody's Republican, it's like, all right, cool, then y'all good, right? Y'all good. I'm not doing the Democrat thing. We're done with that, right? That has to die. Just the name has to die, right? If it becomes the Green Party, it becomes the Green Party. So, or the Libertarian Party or whatever other political party is willing to step up and actually listen to our grievances. So, this has been another quick memo, message, video, whatever you want to call this, from Volothan Modulus Tautology. Notice I keep it PG-13, and children should understand this. And I want the children to love God first, right? Love God, and be happy, because a lot of children, right? I seen I shared the cousins, and I seen them the other day blowing bubbles. So they good, right? It's just, we still have an empty void of fatherhood stepping up, and Black fatherhood specifically. And I'm stepping up, but if y'all don't want me to be the leader, the one that decides, hey, today we're going to read, Matthew 5, whatever, right? Or today we're going to read Harry Potter, or today we're going to do some algebra, or today we're going to do, right? If y'all don't want me to, because the school systems are is where we no, we can be home. We can teach ourselves. right? Me and my son got library cards. It's no stopping us now, right? We go there. We try to go. I'm gonna try to go there with him every week now, like or every other week, right? Just to get a different book, just to read something different. You know what I mean? It inspires the mind. That's how our minds remain refined with all kinds of ideas. It's just the self-esteem that makes it seem that my thought took years to build. We're not procrastinators. We diligent. We do our diligence, and that's what we're doing, right? But people keep pointing at us, talking about we procrastinating. It's like, yo, you're throwing stones at us, especially if you huffing and puffing, walking and I see you. You know what I mean? Saying that wrath, being angry at us, right? That's because y'all lack patience. Right? So I waited for this day. For a long time, I waited for this day right here for me to get on this microphone, drop them bars, then I'm gonna go out here and take over the world again. All right. So, yeah, I need a good lawyer, but I'm calling lawyers and it's like, you want me to work for free? Like, y'all hypocrite mother, right? You're a hypocrite because you're responsible for destroying foundational Black American families. One God, our Father, art of time, hip hop, life, love. One. That's God is love, hip hop is life. Time is holy. You know what I mean? Cherish the day. That's some Sade right there. That's hip hop too. I'm gonna play some more. I gotta start playing a little bit of music and figure out how to play it enough so that I don't get copyright claimed. You know what I mean? Play a little cherish the day, right? That's hip hop right there. Right? I walk around listening to that in my boombox. Walk the neighborhood. I'm gonna get a new boombox. Walk the neighborhood with my boombox, blasting Sade, cherish the day, right? Oh yeah, the girls love that, right? The young ladies, but nah, I'm not like that, right? It's, you know what I mean? I teach for free. I do it for free. That's why I can get on this mic and do this real quick. But time is holy, right? Stop wasting people's time with your grievances. If your grievances is a immigrant that Trump sent back to the slave mines of his home, right? Right? And it's like we got due process. Like what does his fingerprint say he's an American or right? Like when they fingerprinted him, did it say he was American? Right? They fingerprint me. They know exactly who I am. Right? I got ID and everything. Right? So they know exactly who I am. That's why they can target me exactly. And they trying to help me, but they can't say anything because they don't know if I'm Democrat or Republican. I hold my nutsack and say, see, there I go being vulgar. Time is holy, my apologies. And money, they say that was that money I was talking about. That's nothing more than a fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. Because the key is, like I said, the first commandment is love God. If you claim that you love that money, I'm praying for you.